think you said before you wanted to keep Alex Battleardo down there this season. He showed you why tonight.
Yeah, I didn't need to see that to know what type of player he was. I think, he's one of those games tonight for him where everything he touched turned to gold. So, he's a quality player, and things like that can happen when you've got that quality.
But when you look back at it, I mean, you came back twice and you sort of looked like you were starting to maybe find your momentum in that second half. Was it just moments that cost you tonight, or how do you haven't had a chance to reflect too much, but what's your reaction to it?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's, we started the game quite well. I think the first 15 minutes we were in a great position. We started well. We had the territory. We had a couple half chances that didn't capitalise, and then, we conceded 2 quick goals, and one of them is a fantastic goal from outside the box. But like you said, we come back and it's 2-1. We get ourselves back in the game and look to finish the half strong, and then, right on half time we conceded, which is not nice. But again, we have a job to do in the second half, and we start well. Again, we come back into the game at 3-2. I think we have all the momentum and we're building, and they're the moments you've got to capitalise, and keep going. And in the end, we concede another goal from outside the box, and that's the story of the night.
Yeah, so they're there. I mean, wonder goals are wonder goals, but were you a little bit sloppy at times, and that's where you sort of allowed them back in, or?
Oh, I'm not sure about sloppy. I mean, were we great with the ball? Not as good as we'd like to be, that's for sure. But again, in the end, we're getting ourselves back into the match, and in those moments we've got to stick together, know that it's a difficult job at hand, and we can't afford to concede because you've got momentum. It's 1 goal down now, and it's game on. And in the end, you concede, and it makes it even more difficult. And then they get momentum as well. They got the home fans behind them, and it's difficult then to come back from 2 goals, for the second or third time in the match.
Obviously, you're missing a lot of experience and a lot of your senior players at the moment. Is it a matter of just getting through this period? Obviously, last week, does it feel like 2 steps forward, 1 step back type thing, or from last week to this week is a big shift?
Yeah, look, it's. I don't think it was 2 steps forwards last week. It was just a game that we had a good performance against the top side. Tonight is another difficult match. Every game in the A-League is difficult. Every opponent's got their qualities, and you've got to be up for it every week. And it's not that we weren't up for it tonight. In the end, we fell short because we weren't good enough in those key moments. And in the end, that's the match.
Are any of those injured players, likely to be back anytime soon?
Not sure. Just waiting on. The ones that are closest is probably Louis Dorigo and Roderick Miranda. They're the only 2 that are touch and go for next week. The rest are still a few weeks away, but that's part of football. You get those patches during the year, sometimes early, sometimes in the middle, sometimes at the end, and that's why you need a squad. And during those moments, everyone's got to step up.
Dennis Drew was also very good tonight. He was sort of all the good things that you did. He was part of it.
Yeah, I
How much growth has he still got to go?
Yeah, he was excellent. Yeah, he was excellent. Then a goal and an assist, and then just constantly dangerous. Constantly a threat. And again, that's only his second 90 minutes in 12 months or so, and he's going to get a lot better. And he's already shown his qualities, and he's only 60-70%. So he's got a big ceiling, and a lot to look forward to in the coming months.
Tony Popovich was here tonight. Once he's 100% fit and firing, do you think he should be back in that conversation?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's already there anyway. I think he's on the periphery, and he's got to keep performing, keep doing well for us and himself. And if he does that, I'm sure there'll be a light at the end of the tunnel. And until that happens, he's got to keep working day to day and help our team be stronger and help him be the best version of himself.
Did the Jets surprise you tonight, or did you know they had that in there? They keep us just don't need mobility, and they were pretty brave tonight, and they played a lot of one-touch stuff. I think you said leading up to the game they were good last year, but they look like they're better again. Yeah,
they've improved, but again, they're a team with a lot of good players as well, and we're not surprised by that. They're a good side with good players, and in the end they've got the points tonight. I don't think the scorelines are probably a true reflection of the match, but they've got it, and they deserved it, and that's football.